Welcome to World Alert Updates. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. The salt-laced air hangs heavy and tense just after dawn, 124 nautical miles west of the Philippine coast. The first light of day reveals a vast, restless sea, its calm surface belying the tension simmering beneath. The BRP Teresa Magbanua, a lone Philippine Coast Guard vessel, slices through the calm waters of the West Philippine Sea on what should be a routine patrol. Its crew is alert, eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of trouble, knowing that out here, routine can change in an instant. But at Scarborough Shoal, routine vanishes. This is the front line of a geopolitical struggle, where every move is watched and every decision carries weight. On the horizon, a fleet of Chinese vessels forms a menacing cordon, Coast Guard ships and maritime militia boats, enforcing Beijing's sweeping claims. Their presence is a constant reminder of the power struggle playing out on these waters. The air crackles with tension, not gunfire, but blaring horns and terse radio calls. Every sound is a warning, every message a test of resolve. The Philippine crew stands firm, documenting every aggressive maneuver, every water cannon blast. Cameras roll as evidence is gathered, each frame a testament to their resilience. Their weapon is transparency, broadcasting this David and Goliath struggle to the world. Through live streams and urgent transmissions, they shine a light on actions that might otherwise go unseen. The stakes are high, not just for the Philippines, but for the principle of a world governed by rules, not might. International law hangs in the balance, as does the future of regional peace. Scarborough Shoal, once a tranquil fishing ground, is now a geopolitical chessboard. The lives of local fishermen who once depended on these waters are now caught in the crossfire of global ambitions. Warships, fighter jets, and the lives of ordinary fishermen are the pieces in play. Each day, the risk of escalation looms, threatening livelihoods and lives alike. The game is one of intimidation and control. Every maneuver, every close pass, is a message sent and received. As the sun climbs higher, the question lingers. How long can this fragile peace hold before it shatters? The crew waits, knowing that a single misstep could ignite a wider conflict. This isn't a distant problem, it's a crisis unfolding in real time. Every update, every alert, is watched by millions, both at home and abroad. The consequences could ripple across the globe. What happens here could set a precedent for maritime disputes everywhere, affecting the balance of power far beyond these waters. The world is watching, and the stakes have never been higher. In this standoff, the future of the region, and perhaps the rules that govern our world, hangs in the balance. China's grip on Scarborough Shoal tightens with chilling precision as the world watches a new chapter unfold in the South China Sea. Chinese vessels have deployed bright orange buoys, sealing off the lagoon's entrance, a floating barrier marking Beijing's claim. These barriers are not just physical obstacles, they are bold statements of intent, signaling to all who approach that this territory is under new management. Philippine patrols document these deployments, watching as a new maritime iron curtain rises. Each photograph and report adds to a growing archive of evidence, fueling diplomatic protests and international concern. The blockade is enforced with overwhelming force, an unmistakable show of dominance on the open water. Armed Chinese Coast Guard ships, water cannons, and maritime militia stand ready. Their presence is constant, their tactics aggressive, leaving little doubt about who controls the shoal. Access is denied, and the message is brutal. Filipino fishermen and supply boats are turned away, livelihoods disrupted, and tensions rise with every confrontation. This coincides with joint military drills between the Philippines and its allies, a calculated show of force. The exercises are meant to reassure, but also to warn, demonstrating that Manila is not alone. The skies are contested too. Chinese fighter jets intercept Philippine patrol aircraft, flying dangerously close. These high-stakes encounters are a reminder that the conflict is not limited to the sea. These aren't routine flybys, they're acts of coercion, signaling China's control of both sea and air. Each maneuver is a calculated risk, pushing the boundaries of international norms. It's a textbook example of gray zone tactics, conflict waged just below open warfare. The line between peace and conflict blurs, making every day a test of resolve. China claims it's enforcing domestic law, but for the Philippines, it's a slow-motion invasion. Each denied entry chips away at sovereignty, fueling anger and resistance. The blockade is a stark illustration of Beijing's willingness to rewrite the rules, one buoy and one jet at a time. The message is clear: the status quo is being redrawn, and power is shifting. The world is being dared to respond. International bodies debate, but action remains elusive. As the situation grows more volatile, the stakes grow with every new barrier and every close encounter. Each incident risks escalation, drawing in more players and raising the cost of inaction. Scarborough Shoal is now a symbol of regional power and resistance. For the Philippines, it's a rallying point. For China, a demonstration of might. The world watches, uncertain of what comes next. In the cockpit, tension is palpable. Every sense is heightened as pilots scan their instruments and the skies, fully aware that a single mistake could have dire consequences. A Philippine surveillance plane on routine patrol suddenly spots two fast-approaching Chinese fighter jets on the radar, closing in at alarming speed. One jet cuts across the Philippine plane's path, just 100 feet away, a distance that leaves no room for error. It's a reckless maneuver, risking a catastrophic collision and putting both crews in immediate danger. These incidents are becoming more frequent, with Chinese jets performing aggressive flybys and flying in tight, intimidating formations. Each encounter blatantly violates international aviation safety standards, escalating the risk of a deadly accident and raising tensions in the region. Philippine pilots respond with professionalism, maintaining their course, documenting every detail, and reporting each incident through official channels. They refuse to be baited into dangerous maneuvers, knowing that a single miscalculation could trigger a crisis with far-reaching consequences. China's goal is clear: intimidation. By making these patrols so hazardous, they hope Manila might eventually back down from asserting its rights. It's psychological warfare at 20,000 feet, a relentless test of nerves, discipline, and the Philippines' resolve to stand its ground. Every close call is a move in a high-stakes game of aerial chicken, where the smallest error could have devastating results. The danger of miscalculation is immense. A collision could spark a major international crisis, drawing in other nations and escalating conflict. The memory of past incidents like the 2001 Hainan Island standoff looms large, serving as a stark warning of what's at stake. The skies over the West Philippine Sea are more crowded and more dangerous than ever before, with military aircraft from multiple nations sharing the same tense airspace. With each intercept, the odds of a tragic accident grow, and the world watches, hoping that cooler heads will prevail before disaster strikes. Scarborough Shoal, Panatag Shoal to Filipinos, Huangyandao to the Chinese, is a triangular chain of reefs 124 nautical miles from Luzon. It sits well within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, as defined by international law. For generations, Filipino fishermen have relied on its rich lagoon for their livelihoods. Since China seized control in 2012, these fishermen have been driven away, chased, blasted with water cannons, their catch confiscated. China's actions are a direct assault on Philippine sovereignty and economic security. The shoal's location is also strategic, a potential military outpost that could give China dominance over the South China Sea. A base here would threaten Philippine security and global trade routes. This is about more than fishing rights. It's about control of vital sea lanes and the future balance of power in the Indo-Pacific. Scarborough Shoal is a flashpoint with global consequences. Facing overwhelming odds, the Philippines has chosen defiance, not with force, but with information. Under President Marcos Jr., Manila's strategy is assertive transparency, publicly exposing China's aggressive actions. Coast Guard and military crews now document every incident, releasing videos and photos to the world within hours. This evidence strips away Beijing's deniability and galvanizes international opinion. The narrative has shifted, from a murky dispute to a clear case of bullying. Alongside transparency, the Philippines is strengthening alliances, conducting joint drills with the US, Australia, Japan, and France. These exercises send a powerful message. Manila will not be intimidated or isolated. President Marcos Jr. has drawn a clear line. No yielding of territory, no surrender of sovereign rights. It's a calculated risk, but one deemed necessary to defend national interests. The world is now watching every move. The Philippines' transparency strategy has rallied international support. The US has reaffirmed its mutual defense treaty, warning that attacks on Philippine forces in the South China Sea will trigger a response. Japan and Australia have deepened security ties, providing patrol vessels, training, and joint exercises. The European Union and key powers like the UK and France have condemned China's actions and sent naval assets to the region. This broad coalition signals that the South China Sea is a global concern, not just a regional dispute. Manila's struggle is now seen as a test for international law and order. The political cost for China's aggression is rising. The world is closing ranks, and Beijing knows it. At the heart of the dispute is a clash between international law and raw power. In 2016, the Permanent Court of Arbitration ruled in favor of the Philippines, invalidating China's 9-dash line. The ruling is binding, but China rejected it, insisting on historical rights. This legal impasse has shifted the contest from courtrooms to confrontations at sea. The law of the sea is being supplanted by the law of power, bigger ships dictating reality. The Philippines holds the legal high ground, but China enforces its claims with force. The 2016 ruling gave Manila legitimacy, but no enforcement mechanism. The standoff continues, with law and might in direct collision. China's strategy is two-pronged: militarize occupied features and legitimize control through administrative moves. In the Spratlys, Beijing built artificial islands with ports, airfields, and missile systems, unsinkable fortresses projecting power. A similar base at Scarborough Shoal would complete China's dominance over the region, threatening Manila and U.S. access. Meanwhile, China declares marine reserves, framing its actions as environmental protection. But these moves are thinly veiled attempts to assert control. Even as island building devastates the ecosystem, militarization and pseudo-legal justifications create new facts on the ground. Each new outpost and decree makes the 2016 ruling seem more distant. China is methodically changing the status quo, one reef at a time. The West Philippine Sea is a powder keg. Confrontations are rising, and the risk of conflict is real. A single incident could ignite a wider war, drawing in the US and China. The US-Philippines Mutual Defense Treaty looms over every encounter, raising the stakes. China's pressure campaign is part of a broader strategy, linked to Taiwan and regional dominance. Control of the South China Sea would give Beijing a critical advantage in any future conflict. The standoff is a microcosm of the global contest between rules and raw power. Failure to uphold the law here would set a dangerous precedent worldwide. The world holds its breath, hoping to avoid the precipice of conflict.